Well, here we are again, still in Korea. On Sunday mornings, the Americans used to train the South Koreans on how to operate a twin Bofor anti-aircraft gun. The Bofor guns were made in Sweden. So the result of this was from 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, you'd hear boom, 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 all for hours, you know. And the Americans used to have a little plane and they'd drag a target behind the plane, which is about 1,000 metres, about a mile behind the aeroplane. Although sometimes the South Koreans shot down the plane instead of hitting the target. Anyway, we had an old British RSM there at the where I was. He said, "Cyril," he said, "can you do something about this bloody Bofor practising at 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings?" He said, "We're all suffering from our hangovers then, and we'd like to have a little bit of peace until breakfast time." So I said, "Oh, I see what I can do." So away I went and worked out how I could bring my very powerful transmitters, which we used to transmit from Incheon to Melbourne for their radio circuits. Oh, of course, it went from Incheon to Melbourne, and Melbourne to Nairobi, and Nairobi to London, and Melbourne to New Zealand, and so on, Auckland in New Zealand. So anyway, come 6 o'clock and Cyril's down tuning his transmitter up, and all of a sudden, one of the little aeroplanes heads straight out to sea. And I said, "Oh, that's good." So a couple more crashed, and I think one of them actually nose-dived into the mud flats. I think we brought down about 4 or 5 that morning, and then we switched off, of course, and crept back to the mess for breakfast. And we had a master sergeant from the American training school that used to come down for a beer every Sunday morning. And he said, "Some goddamn son of a bitch is shooting down my aeroplanes, and if I catch the bastard, I'll kill him." Anyway, there was deathly silence in the mess, of course, and nobody said anything. And then he had his couple of beers and went again. And then the RSM got up on the bar, right up on the bar, he was standing on the bar, and he said, "Gentlemen, raise your glasses to Cyril," which means, of course, that I brought in all the aeroplanes. Now, the interesting thing about shooting these aeroplanes down, or bringing them down, was that when they lost control of them, a little parachute would open, and they'd float down. And there's a beautiful little engine in them, and lots of petrol. Well, by the time the Americans would get over the mud flats to recover them, the frame was still there, the parachutes were made up into dresses, the engine had disappeared, and all the petrol was gone. So, of course, when he lost an aeroplane, all he managed to recover was a little frame. So, anyway, that was, of course, a bit of merriment.